Michael and Carl, the legendary Bagel of Destiny. A Winged Wisdom production. One sunny afternoon, Michael Jr., the most overly optimistic human with questionable karate skills, stood outside his apartment building. Perched on his shoulders were Carl, the ever-dapper PR manager pigeon, and Carl's less-than-sharp brother, Dave. Dave was a pigeon who always looked like he was trying to solve a math problem and failing spectacularly. "All right, team," Michael Jr. announced, karate headband tied tightly, chest puffed out. "Today, we embark on an adventure to find the legendary Bagel of Destiny." Carl fluffed his feather tie and rolled his pigeon eyes. "Mikey, that's not a real thing. You just made that up so we'd leave the building." Dave, who was balancing upside down on Michael's shoulder, chirped out, "Bagels. Bagels." The AA, before promptly falling off and landing with a thud. He stood back up, looking unfazed and still confused. "See? Dave's excited," Michael said, giving Carl a grin. "Let's go, team." And so, they set off through New York City, Michael Jr. in the lead with his overly dramatic karate moves slicing through the air. Carl followed, muttering PR strategies to himself, while Dave kept hopping after them, occasionally getting distracted by reflections in puddles. As the trio ventured deeper into the city, they entered Central Park. It was there that Carl suddenly started to wobble and sneeze uncontrollably. "Achoo. Good gravy. What is happening?" Carl gasped, feathers ruffled. Michael Jr. paused his attempt at a jump kick and squatted to look Carl in the eyes. "You okay, buddy? You look paler than usual." Which is impressive because, feathers. Carl's pigeon face turned serious. "I don't know, Mikey. I feel like I'm coming down with something." He let out a dramatic cough, and the pigeons nearby gasped in perfect synchrony. Dave, not understanding the gravity of the situation, started dancing in circles and flapping his wings wildly. "Carl's playing sick. Carl's playing sick," he chirped, misreading the moment entirely. Suddenly, Carl looked up at Michael Jr. with his tiny, dignified pigeon eyes. "Mikey, if this is it, I want you to take my headset and continue the PR legacy." Michael Jr.'s face fell. "No, Carl, don't say that. You're going to be fine. You're the smartest pigeon I know." But it was too late. Carl let out a tiny sigh, gave one last, heroic nod, and dramatically keeled over, landing in Dave's confused wings. The park went silent, save for a squirrel who was still nibbling loudly on a discarded pretzel. Michael Jr. dropped to his knees. "Carl, no. Who will tell me my karate looks like an interpretive dance of an injured octopus now?" Dave stared down at his brother, blinked twice, and then flapped his wings as if nothing happened. "Can we get bagels now?" Just as Michael Jr. was about to weep into his karate belt, Carl's eyes fluttered open one last time. "One more thing, Mikey, don't let Dave make any business decisions," he whispered before closing his eyes for good. A stunned silence hung in the air. Then, without missing a beat, Dave plopped Carl onto a nearby bench and began pecking at Michael's shoe. "So, bagels?" Michael Jr. sniffled, stood up, and took Carl's tiny headset. "All right, Dave. For Carl. Let's find that Bagel of Destiny." And so, the most mismatched duo in New York, Michael Jr., the overly optimistic karate enthusiast, and Dave, the lovable but simple pigeon, walked off into the city, leaving behind the legendary Carl and ready for whatever ridiculous adventure awaited them next. As they marched on, Michael Jr. raised his fist to the sky. "To Carl, the greatest PR pigeon who ever lived." Dave nodded solemnly before shouting, "To Carl, and to cream cheese." The day after Carl's unexpected passing, Michael Jr. and Dave stood at the edge of Central Park, armed with a map drawn in crayon and an unwavering belief that they were on the brink of greatness. The legendary Bagel of Destiny was said to bestow its finder with supreme confidence, a perk Michael Jr. desperately needed, and, according to Dave, extra bird seeds. "All right, Dave," Michael Jr. said, holding up the map, which had more doodles than directions. "Step 1. Cross the park without being distracted." Dave immediately started chasing a butterfly. Bird seeds. Magic bug. Dave, no. Michael Jr. facepalmed as the pigeon ran headfirst into a trash can, then tumbled out with a banana peel on his head. Before Michael Jr. could intervene, an old lady walking her Pomeranian stopped and squinted at the sight. "Oh, what a special pigeon," she muttered as Dave, now tangled in a leftover hot dog wrapper, chirped proudly. "Focus, Dave. The Bagel of Destiny isn't going to find itself," Michael Jr. called, pulling Dave back by his tiny pigeon wing. Just as they resumed their quest, a gang of city squirrels appeared, each wearing a tiny leather jacket and carrying acorns like nunchucks. Their leader, a particularly buff squirrel with an eye patch, stepped forward. "Hey, hey, hey," the squirrel squeaked. "Where do you two think you're going? This is squirrel territory." Michael Jr. struck what he thought was an intimidating karate pose. "We're just passing through, looking for the Bagel of Destiny. No trouble here, right, Dave?" Dave, now nibbling on the hot dog wrapper, nodded, not understanding anything but always happy to agree. The leader squirrel raised an eyebrow and spun his acorn nunchucks. "Bagel of Destiny? That's just a myth. Nobody crosses our turf without paying the toll." The squirrels behind him chittered menacingly, doing their best impression of tiny, furry street thugs. Michael Jr. gulped. "What's the toll?" "5 peanuts," the squirrel leader snapped. And an embarrassing dance move from the bird. Dave's eyes lit up. "I got this." He flapped into the air, did a pirouette that ended in him smacking into a park bench, then stood up and chirped, "Dave wins." The squirrels looked at each other, utterly confused. The leader shrugged. "Close enough. But we still want the peanuts." Just then, a pigeon flew overhead, dropping what looked suspiciously like a peanut bag. It landed at Michael Jr.'s feet with a thud. He picked it up and read the note attached, "For emergencies. Love, Carl." Michael Jr.'s eyes filled with tears. "Carl, you genius." He tossed the bag to the squirrels. "There's your toll. Now we're going." The squirrel leader nodded. "You're free to pass. But good luck with that bagel. It's cursed, they say." Dave, puffing out his chest and draped in the hot dog wrapper like a cape, strutted forward. "Bagel magic. Bird seeds. Dave is ready." Michael Jr. sighed, grinning as they made their way out of the park. The adventure wasn't over, and with Carl's last-minute peanut save and Dave's fearless, albeit confused, spirit, he knew they were going to be just fine. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos.